1v1 on Semoskiy Winter, Omega Warrior vs. Freedom Kite, followed by Symbol. Check out that faceplate. Apparently he has a rare bulletin too. Shell Rush. Huh. US vs. Oster.
Grenadiers can now be summoned to the battlefield. We have a fresh Grenadier squad.
And it looks like we see Assault Grenadiers coming from Freedom Kite, and Riflemen coming from Omega Warrior, who is running straight south, and Freedom Kite looks like he's going to spread between the north and the middle.
Rifle squad waiting for orders.
This is Pioneers and Assault Grenadiers. Quickly moving around the south with the rear echelon troops. And these riflemen appear to be moving across to this point. Second Rifleman squad cooking, and Grenadiers coming out of the infantry company for Freedom Kite. Assault Grenadiers moving across the north. These Pioneers are going to continue capturing the middle as these Riflemen make their way towards the central island as well.
The new Grenadier squad is ready.
Grenadiers reporting.
Assault Grenadiers skip the strategic point and go straight for the fuel. Interesting. That will not be connected. As you can see, it's not quite touching. So he will need to capture this at some point to get that connected. Riflemen moving up to the cutoff. Second squad of Riflemen moving towards the central island. And it looks like the very first victory point's about to get captured here by these Pioneers. Fuel getting captured by this rear echelon troop squad.
We claimed it for the fatherland.
Capture complete.
Still no engagements, as the units are playing rather conservatively, just backcapping to start off with. Nothing too aggressive from either side. Looks like Pioneers are going to circle around and go straight for the fuel. Pioneers versus rear echelon troops, I would say usually Pioneers can win if the rear echelon troops don't garrison a building. Although now I'm not entirely sure where he's going. Looks like he's going straight across the ice for that cutoff. Very interesting. Although now that he's been spotted by these riflemen, he opts to retreat. If he had managed to sneak through, that could have been very annoying, though, for the US player. So interesting idea there, but it looks like Omega Warrior wasn't falling for it.
We are losing a sector.
Assault Grenadiers pretty well positioned. Riflemen caught out in the open road, although those Assault Grenadiers are retreating across deep snow. I guess he saw that second squad moving up and thought it would be a good idea to take cover in this building, although he's taking a lot of damage. He definitely won't win this engagement. Green cover, medium range. These riflemen are in a really optimal position. His MP40s aren't going to do anything. Oh, that MG42's position just slightly off too. If it were a little more in the road, it would be able to suppress those riflemen, but that wall still protects them with it positioned just a little too far back right there. Riflemen moving through the deep snow. Looks like they're going to take position in the building. These Grenadiers circling around the top are trying to go for a quick cutoff. Freedom Kite is very interested in trying to cut off the enemy's resources even this early in the game. Very interesting. Looks like he's going to run straight into these assault engineers though. Oh, terrible flame burst, does no damage. Oh, he immediately retreats though, not thinking he would be able to win that engagement, and he also had to retreat his assault Grenadiers and that machine gun, so it looks like Freedom Kite is getting pushed right off the map from the very get-go. These two Rifleman squads are doing a great job of holding the central island and chasing off any threats. Meanwhile, these rear echelon troops are capturing the south pretty much unopposed. This Pioneer squad that retreated earlier has finally returned, and it looks like he's going to run straight back towards the enemy strategic points again. And this time there is nothing to stop him. Grenadiers coming down to chase off these rear echelon troops. Will probably succeed if these riflemen don't get down there very quickly. It looks like those riflemen may in fact be chasing these Pioneers. Not sure if he spotted that or not. It looks like he's going to be redirecting all of his forces down to the south, hoping to take control of at least one victory point and hold it.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
It's much harder to pin an enemy on the winter version of this map, as you can just walk right across this river. Uh-oh, it looks like that machine gun's positioning itself a little poorly. Oh no, he's gonna get flanked by that set of squads, leaving only these assault grenadiers and grenadiers to deal with that. These pioneers get found by these riflemen, but the riflemen charge in and actually a little too close, and they're already wounded. I'm not sure he's watching that. Oh, and those riflemen get chased off. If he had stayed at medium range, he definitely could have chased those pioneers away, but looks like he sent that squad all the way down there for nothing. Light machine gun upgrade on these grenadiers. Pretty good flame burst on those. Retreats them. Grenades going out. Pretty good spread. Pretty good damage on that assault engineer squad. Pretty good on the rifleman too. He needs to get that guy out of there though. And he does. And the light machine gun does a good job of cleaning up the rest of those riflemen. So it looks like he is indeed going to be able to retake the south. And his harassing pioneers come back to help with the capturing effort. Meanwhile, this stray squad of riflemen has captured the entire north, but it seems a little strange that he went for the strategic point instead of going for the high munitions point and the victory point. He really needs to get the clock ticking as fast as he can, but there is something to be said about cutting the enemy off to the fullest possible extent, and he will have captured even the strategic point right outside the enemy's base if nothing moves to stop him. However, that is not going to stop his fuel income if Freedom Kite manages to retake the entire south, which it looks like he is. Got a munitions cache going up in the strategic point right outside Omega Warrior's base. And Omega Warrior has gone with a lieutenant, so we will probably see some light vehicles from him very soon. As far as Freedom Kite, he has gone pretty infantry heavy, 2 assault grenadiers, 2 standard grenadiers, and 2 machine guns. So good mix of infantry and support weapons, and he's going to need to tech up soon though. And it looks like he has purchased the first headquarters upgrade, so we'll probably be seeing the second base building from him soon. Assault engineers taking up a position in the house. These grenadiers are going to get bursted by that flame and get out of there. These 2 squads keeping a distance. I think he's considering throwing some assault grenades, but he doesn't quite have the munitions. This machine gun's going to try and pick away at them. Assault engineers have very little health, so they'll actually, even at range, get taken out of that house reasonably quickly. Meanwhile, he sends some squads to the back to cap. He's got to take cover behind this house. He knows that he's getting outranged here, so he doesn't want to just sit in there taking damage.
We have a full complement.
So he just sort of sitting here trying to figure out how he can get a flank going on that machine gun. He's got 2 rifleman squads in the north, but they are also being held back by a second machine gun right here, so pretty solid defense in the south. Lieutenant moves up, getting suppressed instantly. Flanking force coming up here, but he quickly switches targets with the machine gun. Really well played by Freedom Kite there. The flame burst can't quite kill the gunner. He's got to reload though. And now he's firing again. Those assault engineers' flamethrower explodes, and that squad is immediately incinerated. Meanwhile, it looks like the infantry fighting the lieutenant, however, have not been able to hold the line. And this machine gun's got to turn or retreat. Face that new threat. Light machine gun grenadiers moving up to help. Hold the line. And pioneers as well, but it looks like the lieutenant is actually trying to help flank this machine gun. He manages to draw its fire while a second squad of riflemen pulls up, and rather than turn and try and continue fighting, he just retreats. So he has gotten handily pushed. Oh wow, a grenade just, oh no, almost entirely killed the lieutenant. I thought the lieutenant was entirely wiped out, but he may not get away. Oh, rounds the corner perfectly, wow. Thought that grenade wiped out that whole lieutenant squad. Not quite though. It looks like we see a mortar. Still no other technology, though, coming out of this base, and likewise, it looks like a Mega Warrior still hasn't teched up to any light vehicles. He instead went straight for a captain. So, very officer-heavy build, and not utilizing any of the unlocks for purchasing those officers yet. We'll see what his plan is. And then he went straight for Major. Interesting. I've never seen a build go Lieutenant, Captain, straight into Major. So, it looks like he's keeping all of his options open. That's for sure. Another resource cache going up. Putting up a resource cache in the early to mid game can definitely pay off if it never gets destroyed. And if you feel that you have a manpower advantage or a map advantage and you're doing a good job of keeping your enemy at bay, which I would say Omega Warrior certainly is. So we'll see if those resource caches pay off for him. Freedom Kite's been very conservative with his units. He never even entertains the notion of losing a full squad. Anytime a squad comes to full, or even half damage, I would say, he's very quick about retreating it. Ooh, very good grenade assault there. It looks like Omega Warrior wasn't watching, and that's a full rifleman squad taken out completely by those assault grenades. So good use of that 45 munitions, although he is quite strapped for munitions. He's only got 21 coming in, and that assault grenade ability used up pretty much everything he had. Meanwhile, Omega Warrior's got 57 coming in, and he's got 255 stockpiled, so we'll see how he uses that now that he has this Major. Oh! Nice artillery barrage by the Major, taking that building out on the very first strike.
Ready for action. Crowd infantry! Get cover! Move! Shift your fire! Shift your fire! Crowds are sniffing around our asses. Tactical point being captured. God damn it! Someone get us out of here!
Some assault grenadiers chasing off the harassing rear echelon troops in the north. Captain getting sprayed down by an MG42 and some supporting grenadiers. Although those two grenadiers forced to retreat. However, it looks like Freedom Kite is doing a good job of pushing back, regaining a little bit of ground. He really needs to take control of a victory point to slow down the clock, but he is doing quite well for fuel control. But it's getting to be the stage of the game where he really needs to think about taking control of at least one victory point, or he is going to start running out of time. He's down to half of his victory points remaining. And it looks like Omega Warrior is getting a Sherman. Somewhat surprised that he went with a Captain. His enemy has no light vehicles of any kind. If he had skipped the Captain, he could have had a Sherman quite a while ago. A couple minutes ago, I would think. Nice grenade against this infantry standing in the screen cover. Another major artillery barrage coming in, I think. Yes.
The Germans just cut off our supply line.
It's taking a while to fall, though. There it goes. Miss. Terrible barrage. Hit nothing. That might have hit something if it had landed a zillion years ago. Interesting to note, if the Major gets Vet 2, it increases the number of shells dropped during rapid barrage, and it has the fake barrage ability. So you might want to consider keeping your Major near some of your other infantry to get him Vet 2 as quickly as possible, and then start using the barrage, because I think it actually doubles the number of shells from 3 to 6. Either that or maybe 3 to 5. Something like that, but it does make the ability much better. And there's no cost increase. But it can take a while to get to Vet 2 if you are not keeping your Major relatively close to your other infantry in these fights, and it can be difficult to keep him nearby and also keep him safe. Especially if you're using him as a retreat point, you're quite unlikely to be fighting anywhere near him. Sherman on the field, looks like it's going to try to retake some territory up on the top. Certainly nothing up there that can possibly combat it. Meanwhile, Captain's immediately getting suppressed on his charge towards the middle, and these assault grenadiers are doing a good job retaking the bottom. It looks like Freedom Kite has finally managed to retake a few victory points, so that's good for him. He's just gotta grab the south one with that machine gun, and then he will be in a pretty good position there. This captain should probably consider retreating. Taking a lot of damage. He's not successful in drawing fire away from the flank over here. And they get suppressed. However, the Sherman is here to support. High explosive rounds on that Grenadier squad does serious damage. One more shot could take out that whole squad. Oh, but he moves a little too far away in his zeal to take out that machine gun. I think he definitely could have got that full squad, though. Ooh, good shot against those assault grenadiers. He really needs to get everything out of there. That Sherman is doing pretty good damage, especially with that machine gun upgrade on the top. And it looks like Freedom Kite's got caught a little bit unprepared here. He has really got no anti-tank at all except for this pack. And one pack unsupported by Panzerschrecks or anything else can... Whoa. Not sure what that was about. What was that? Not sure what that was. Some kind of artillery calling, I guess. Oh, that was a bug. Okay, I see what happened. The Major hit Vet 2, and as soon as he hit Vet 2, the extra shells from his other two artillery uses fell immediately. That's a really interesting bug. I've never seen that before. Interesting. So, spam this ability all over the map before he hits Vet 2, then hit Vet 2 and a bunch of extra shells will just randomly fall everywhere. And it's a pretty funny bug. That'll probably get fixed in the next patch, but that's a fun one. Fun to take advantage of if you know about it. If you're psychic and know exactly where your enemy is going to be standing when your Major decides to hit Vet 2. Ooh, sniped by a bazooka by the captain there. That'll be his third kill. I really don't think the captain was a very good investment. Grenade going out. Oh, almost annihilating the squad and dropping the bazooka. Yeah, I think captain may have been a mistake on the United States part with his opponent going so incredibly infantry heavy and not taking advantage of any of the captain's unlocks. No pack howitzer, no Stuart, more importantly, no AT guns. I would have expected at least one AT gun by now, even as a preemptive measure. Just sort of keep it in the back, hope it snipes some infantry. Artillery going out on the pack. Looks like the Major used his ability. I'm not sure it's gonna notice. Oh, that fell rather quickly. I think it does fall a little more quickly. Ooh, that was a good one. Falls a little more quickly when he's Vet 2. Oh, takes out that full squad. Alright, I counted that time. That's definitely five shells, so much better than the 3-shell artillery strike. It falls faster and, of course, does much more damage. That was a great barrage by the Major there. And I think he gets credit for the kills, too. Yeah, he has 11 kills now, so that also serves to get him to Vet 3. And it looks like that artillery barrage is going to put the final nail in the coffin. You see GG from Omega Warrior. So, that just about wraps that game up. I would say that was a very good use of the Major's artillery barrage. I think that's a really underused ability. I would like to see that used a lot more. And not surprising to see that used with Armor Company, whose off-map artillery barrage is okay against static positions, but it's not... I don't think it really justifies its 250 manpower price tag. I think that the Major's artillery barrage is really a much more versatile and useful ability. So, good use of the Major there. I think that the captain was a questionable decision, personally, but that is, of course, just my opinion. And I think that the Axis player did a good job with unit preservation, but his building and teching up was a little slow, and he especially did not have any anti-tank when he needed it. Especially not Panzerschrecks. I think he had the munitions, but if he didn't, it was certainly because of his assault grenades. I think he used that. I think he used it quite effectively, but maybe if he had used it a few a little bit less, he might have felt like he had more munitions to spend on Panzerschrecks. And you really do need to be mindful of the fact that enemy tanks or vehicles are going to be coming out soon, and they could have even come out a lot sooner if Omega Warrior had not gone with a captain. So you really do need to get out of Tier 1 eventually. This is a hugely low-tech army. A lot of manpower invested in Tier 1 Assault Grenadiers, Grenadiers. We do see some Panzer Grenadiers, but they're not upgraded. Machine guns, mortars. So you really do need to tech up a little quicker. And I'd say that pretty much wraps this game up, so thank you for watching.